Welcome to today's Unfiltered Podcast, dated January 12th, 2022. I'm your host, Ernest E.J. Christian. Today, I want to discuss a topic here as we about 2 days away from the start of Super Wildcard Weekend. I want to discuss teams that are under the most pressure this weekend. Obviously, with all the narratives into this playoff. You know, there are 4 teams, I believe, that are under a lot of pressure. And I actually want to order this one here. I'm going to go 4-1, 4 being the least of the 4 and 1 being the most pressure here. The number 4 team on the most pressure for me is the Buffalo Bills. And I'm not saying Buffalo because obviously the DeMar Hamlin thing is going to be something and pressure enough to want to perform well for him and their teammate who obviously last week, thankfully, number 1, is on the recovery, released from the hospital, nearly dying on the freaking field last week in Cincinnati, having to stop that game. But even when you take away that situation, you know, this team came into the season with a lot of expectations. A lot of people, including myself, had this team winning the Super Bowl this year. Not just going to the Super Bowl, but winning the Super Bowl. I mean, this is a team that's been trending up for the last couple of years with Josh Allen, the quarterback, and Josh Allen being an MVP candidate and all this stuff. And, you know, even with the stuff, with the distractions, and I didn't say distractions, even with the you know, the burden, not even the burden either. That's the wrong choice of word to use here. But even with their fallen teammate, who's on the mend, obviously, there's still pressure for them to complete the deal and to get over the hump and beat Kansas City in the playoffs. And we'll see if that happens this year or not. But to me, there's still pressure on that team to get the job done. And we'll see how things go starting this week against Miami, which they should win that game fairly handily. Tomorrow we'll discuss that with our picks and all that. The third team on the most pressure here for me is the LA Chargers. And this is really more so in a span of a week. Brandon Staley making a stupid decision this week in playing most of the starters, not all the starters, week 18 when their seeding was pretty much decided. They were going to be the 5 seed. Before the kickoff of the Denver game on Sunday, they knew that they were going to be the 5 seed in the AFC. They were going to Jacksonville. They knew this already. And he played his starters. He played Mike Williams. Mike Williams got hurt in that game because the Broncos. He may or may not even play that game on Saturday now. Mike Williams is an absolute beast for a receiver, top 10 receiver in my opinion, and a matchup nightmare, and a guy that you don't have in the field. That could be the difference between win and loss against the Jaguars on the road. And to me, Brandon Staley added unnecessary pressure to himself now because of that. To me, it's almost borderline fireable the shit he did on last week. But this is my opinion. Okay, this is my opinion. Number 2 team on the most pressure this weekend, the Minnesota Vikings. Oh, you're playing the Giants. No, not that. The Vikings for a number of years now, specifically Kirk Cousins, have been under pressure, to get the job done. They've had some of the better rosters in the last couple of years. And they've meltdown and faded. Yeah, they won a couple playoff games here and there when they had Mike Zimmer as their head coach, but still, they haven't gotten the job done, gotten the hump. They got to the NFC title game a couple of years ago with who was it? Case Keenum, 2017. But it's like ages ago. This is a very good roster on paper, but they're 13-4 this year with a -5 point differential this year. Okay, they gotta get a job done. They cannot lose to the Giants this weekend, and I say as a Giants fan. Okay, they cannot lose to the Giants this weekend, or this season is a borderline failure. Because you can't go 13-4, do what you did this year, and then ultimately lose in the first round at home with that roster. That's me. Okay, and finally, the team with the most pressure. This should be easy. The Dallas Cowboys. America's team. Going to Tampa, folks. They better not lose that game in Tampa. They better not, because Mike McCarthy's ass is people saying he's on the hot seat. No, if he loses that game, he's getting his welcome papers like literally the day later or 2 days later. Like, you cannot lose to Tampa. I know Tampa is in the playoffs, won the division, 8-9, the whole 9. But even the 8 wins this year, they looked pedestrian at best. You can't lose to Tampa. Dallas, I don't care where this game's being played. And I know they lost to Tampa week 1. We got all that. Dallas, even with the struggles against Washington last week, Dallas is still a better team than Tampa Bay. Okay? It's not even close. Okay? Even if you rate Tampa's defense as a good defense, which they are, I argue Dallas' defense is on level with that. You got offensive weapons. You got CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, who's a still a solid quarterback. I'm not saying he's done or damaged goods, But you gotta get the job done. Every year we do this with the Cowboys. They get in the playoffs and they have these lofty expectations, and then they fail. You cannot lose to Tampa this weekend. You know that, right? You cannot lose to the Bucs this weekend. Or McCarthy's toast, and who knows, Jerry Jones might. You know how unpredictable he is. He might just blow the whole damn thing up again. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know if he could. I gotta see the salary cap and all that. But it wouldn't surprise me if Jerry Jones just says, "Fuck it, let's just put towards this damn thing and start anew." I know. But the Cowboys, number one, easily with a bullet under most pressure this weekend. You better not lose to the Buccaneers this weekend. Or else. So, that's Unfiltered. I'll see you tomorrow.